For the last time, the Calvary has arrived. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Bad Batch-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And we are back with The Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 15, the series finale. The Calvary has arrived.
And it's kind of sad.
It's the last ever Bad Batch episode.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know the future, but it's the finale.
I already have a prediction now that I think about it.
51-minute episode, which was great. Everyone, I was like on Star Wars Instagram and stuff, when they're posting stuff, everyone was posting that it needs to be a 99-minute.
Oh, they should have done that.
That would have been kind of cool. They could have
Well, and we were just hoping for 70 minutes, and that didn't even happen.
No, but it was. Thing is, though, I guess I didn't even put one and one together, but the first two seasons were each 16 episodes,
and this one
was 15. So their final episode was just the length of 2 episodes, so it was the same length as 16.
Yeah, true.
But whatever. But we're not here to discuss that. Well, kind of we are. But
what do you mean we are?
Before we get into our breakdown, we had a Spotify Q&A last week. And the question was, how many people will the Zillo Beast eat in the series finale? So we know the answer to that question now, but these people, when they're answering this question, did not know the answer. So let's go over some answers and see how many were right and how many were wrong. So we got 9 responses. First up, Jonathan says 1, Jess Hemlock. He'll wreck the rest of the base, take out a bunch of TK troopers, and create havoc, but only consume Hemlock. Nope. Sorry. You get a half a point on that one. Nate Keeney says 1, Omega. Wouldn't that be nuts if the Zillo Beast ate Omega?
She's like, I got the master plan, guys. This is gonna work, and then she died.
Oh, that was so bad. Addie says all the troopers and Hemlock and that other doctor lady, I forget her name, LOL. Let Hemlock burn and that other doctor too. Holy smokes, Addie. Take a chill pill. Don't turn to the dark side over this. Like, you're too nice and sweet to let Hemlock burn. That was like, I couldn't believe it. We're going to have Lucy have a talk with you on that one.
Yeah. You're going to have to go on probation a little bit for that comment. Jeez.
R Green 571 says, the Zillo Beast is a vegetarian, but I do predict that the Zillo Beast will destroy the security area leading to the vault, which will aid Omega's escape.
Are Zillo Beasts vegetarians?
Well, then also, Ed Spots 04 says, I am told the clone Zillo Beast is vegan, so 0. But
vegan now?
I Googled this after I got these responses. I did not see anything about being vegetarian or.
Are they joking?
No, I think it's because it hasn't been fed like meat, this clone one. So like it's not by choice, but by
force.
They're just not giving it meat to eat, because that'd be a lot to. Because it's this energy is what it can feed off of, also. So
yeah, can't it just like suck batteries?
Yeah. But Easton says, I don't know why, but I feel like 5 are going to be eaten. I cried walking out of Galaxy's Edge. So I guess Easton went to Galaxy's Edge for the first time.
You cried because you had to leave? Or did you cry because you didn't like
it? But he probably just enjoyed it so much.
It's okay. When I take my kid there in October, he's going to cry when we have to leave too. So...
But
probably
not
just because
for the same reason you'll be crying when you leave. Marina K says, I don't care as long as we get at least one Wilhelm scream soundbite. I don't think we got one.
No.
I should have been paying attention more. I don't think we
I
got one.
didn't. No, I don't think so.
Aaron Noob 17 says just one Hemlock, and Schuler, something like that says I'll leave it a pretty high death toll, but I bet we only see it eat one person. So the correct answer is just one.
Just one. So I was right.
I don't remember what we said.
Oh, of course. Now you don't remember.
Well, we didn't make a bet, did we?
Yeah, we did.
What was the bet?
I don't remember what the bet was. We're gonna have to listen. Chat, you gotta let us know what the bet was.
I don't
But
even
I said
remember.
7 and under, I think, or 6 and under, and you said over 6 or something like that.
I don't even remember. We make so many bets,
Not really. Yeah.
but we're gonna have to argue about our main bet after this episode when we get to that scene.
True.
So we'll talk about that when we get that. But let's jump into this episode. So I have my notebook here. My I can show it on screen. My Ray notebook that I got for Christmas 2 Christmases ago from my niece, and I'm still using it for all my breakdown episode stuff. So what was the first thing I wrote in here?
Ooh, here we go.
What do you think my first notes were in this book? This would have been just after Christmas 2 Christmases ago.
Mandalorian season 2.
No.
3?
No.
Okay, I have no idea.
I think 2 Christmases ago. I'm trying to think. Or is it 3 Christmases ago? So it was Boba Fett chapter 1.
Oh gosh, that's old.
So that was right when Andrew left. So he left like Christmas, just after Christmas 2021. So it's been
really.
So I got that.
It's been 3 years since
3
he
years.
left.
Well, 3 Christmases. It's only been a little over 2 years.
Well, it'll be 3 Christmases this year.
Right, but we're not even to the halfway point, so we can't even talk about.
But Christmas. You know what that we forgot to mention is Star Wars week.
It is Star Wars week. This weekend is Star Wars Day.
Yes.
And
so I hope all you guys
on Star Wars Day, Tales of the Empire is being released, all 6 episodes.
Facts.
So I'm going to be binging that.
Me too.
Then we'll be doing
in the morning.
Then we'll be doing breakdown episodes, but
the next 2 weeks.
One character and then the other character back-to-back weeks. We're not doing individual episodes.
And we're not doing it the day of.
No.
But there might be something spicy that drops on May 4th. So we're letting you guys know right now. On May 5th, we'll be doing a recording if we have a trailer.
Yes.
Or a lot of news.
Yeah, if we have tons of news, like movie release dates or something and show announcements or something, we'll break those down in one big episode for all that news. We'll do like a
Sunday morning little thing again.
But if it's just nothing really or just something small, like we're not going to.
We're not going to do a whole episode on it. But just so you guys know, so make sure you guys tune in. If you guys see a trailer, expect both of our reactions to be up on our YouTube channel and also expect a podcast breakdown the next day. So make sure you guys go to YouTube, subscribe, and make sure you guys go over there.
And help me go viral this time.
And Jeremiah's will go up first.
We're going to do an experiment to see who gets more views because whatever. But anyway, back to my point, my notebook. Normally for an episode, my notes is just one side, one sheet, like one side. For this episode, even though it was only the length of 2 episodes, I had almost 3 pages.
Ooh, doggy.
So I don't even know if I'm going to be able to follow my notes because this thing, like normally we do like story by story, like in each episode, it's one at a time. All these stories go back and forth. They intertwine. This is going to be hard to, I'm going to have to try and decipher my notes because I was
going to say, like, when I was, like, after, so if you guys don't know, there's also a watch party. You guys can go on YouTube and check that out if you guys want to watch it again. By this time, if you guys are watching this live or by the time this podcast came out, you probably already watched the episode, hopefully. And you can watch it again with me if you want to. Maybe that's something you do on May 4th. Go over there and comment. I have a cool question over there, so make sure you go over there and comment. But with that, yeah, I was thinking like at the end of it, I'm like, how are we gonna do this episode? Because it's like we can't just go with Omega. We can't just because then everything like comes together
They
so
all
much.
intertwine.
So we just kind of have to
It's
go
like
back
they're all
episode.
separate. They start intertwining all the stories, and then they go separate again, and then come back together.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Which is
So
why it was so good, because it was just well written. But might as well just jump into our overall thoughts. Drew, what are your overall thoughts of this series finale episode?
well, first, let me get some blue
Oh
milk.
my gosh.
Some blue milk to top me off before
I saw that at Cub this last couple. Well,
You
I
didn't
can't
buy any?
No, I don't drink milk. Are you kidding me?
But it's blue milk.
That's not disgusting.
It's not disgusting.
It just tastes like regular milk, right?
It's just vanilla. No, it's not real milk. It's flavored.
So it's just milk with vanilla in it?
And like something else. It's flavored.
Ugh.
It's awesome. Go check it out. Kemps, if you guys want to sponsor us for next May 4th and give us free milk, Jeremiah will drink it.
Oh gosh.
I'm kind of, dude, imagine Kemps comes up with the ice cream. Huh?
If they want to make a blue milk ice cream, I'll eat that.
So cheers to
Was that the
May 4th.
surprise you had for me?
Mm-hmm.
Since sitting out on your desk for how many hours, and now you're drinking?
No, I just during our break, I'm gonna go put it in the fridge but it's pretty tasty. Anyways, it's so tasty, just like this episode. The most cheesy.
You've been playing that all day?
Nope. Just came out with it just now. It was so good, bro. The whole episode. I loved it. Like everything. I loved Omega's taking charge and all this fun stuff she does in the episode. I like that the team comes together. There's parts of this episode that's super sad, and we'll get into those. I just thought as a whole, as like an ending story, I thought it was really well done. I think the only thing that really sticks out to me that I hate about this is that I was wrong.
About
Tech.
Oh yeah, well, I guess we could talk about that after I give my overall thoughts. We'll talk about it because nothing happened in the episodes about it. So like we'll talk about that as its own thing. But
overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good episode, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, we can kind of guess what's gonna happen, maybe. I don't know. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do with her.
We'll talk about that later.
But yeah, overall, I loved it. 10 out of 10 for sure. 10 out of 10 lightsabers. And the whole series wrapped into one big ending like this, I thought it was really well done. And adding the Zilbies to it was just like the cherry on top of the cake, in my opinion. I thought it was really good. So, all right, that's it. Jeremiah.
Cool. I thought it was amazing. It was so good. I was just, dude, the whole time I was misty-eyed the whole time. Like every scene, I'm like,
who's gonna die?
Who's gonna die? The dialogue, the story, the character. I'm like, this whole time, like, the time that I almost lost it was when Jax was like, I'm scared of heights. And Omega's like, Wrecker is scared of, he's like, I'm scared of heights. I don't know if I can do this. I would never be a good soldier. And Omega's like, well, Wrecker, my brother, he's scared of heights, and he's the strongest soldier I know. I'm like, oh no, I know.
I was like, oh, if this boy dies right now, if they would have panned and then he would have died at that moment, dude, we would have lost it. I probably would have cried on screen. But yeah,
everything in this episode just. Because like last week we were talking like every single storyline that we listed like 10 of them. Like how is it going to play out? Is it like how are they going to pull it off in like one episode? And they did it. All the storylines, all the Bad Batch, Omega, the kids, Dr. Carr, the other doctor,
Tarkin.
Tarkin got thrown in. Did we talk about him? I can't remember if we mentioned him, but
I don't think that was one of our guesses.
But he was there.
We were kind of talking about that.
Rampart story, Hemlock story, Scorch's story. Like everything, they wove it all together, and this is like one of the best like one of the best writing I think in Star Wars. Like it's just like all the stories just wove together in a perfect ending.
Yeah.
Like I can't believe how good it was. The only thing like so you hated the one thing like I hate that okay it's a bad like I'm kind of mad that no one died that like of the Bad Batch.
Mm,
Like I thought at least one was should have. I thought well one I thought they're all gonna die. Just trying to save Omega, but like I thought like if the only one that would survive would maybe Hunter, and it was just Hunter and Omega leave or something like that, and Crosshair and Wrecker both die or something. Like I could have saw that happening, but no one died, and so I was kind of disappointed by that. But it's also they've killed off a lot of people in Star Wars finales and stuff, so like they didn't want to kill anyone off now, I guess. But
yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is I feel like yeah, he felt like he couldn't do that. I don't know. I feel like they could have though, and it would like I mean he did kill off Tech, but this whole season we are thinking that he's around potentially, and like they pulled us. They pulled
yeah,
us.
I wonder if they thought that the fandom would think he was still alive.
I think so because one is the first character in all of Star Wars to fall to their death.
Like a main character at
Yeah.
least. Like I don't know. Like I
So
was just
that happened, and also they found the glasses at the end of the last one. So like of when he fell, you know. So like we thought maybe he didn't fall, or like maybe they captured him, and then we saw these shadow troopers, right? And we're assuming that that one guy was him because his voice was alterated.
that's what
But
everyone else. I never thought
well,
that.
I was gonna say I wasn't the only one that thought this though. Like, so many people thought that, and it turns out it was
well,
just the helmet.
but that guy that was chasing the Bad Batch wasn't one of the four in this episode, though.
No, he was. He was the one that died at the very end from
No, because he was.
so it was a
Remember,
4 and then he came with Dr. Hemlock. And then he came down and then
so there was 5 total in this
there was
episode.
5 total at the end. Cuz he came at the end cuz he was the one with the one that kind of looked like Crosshair a little bit,
Right, the
like
sniper.
the sniper, and he came at the end and he was the one that Hunter stabbed
But
through
there was 2
the end.
snipers then, because there was a sniper in the 4.
Yeah, but one of them was clearly that dude. He was the
I,
last one to die. And that
I
was
don't
the
know.
one that everyone like me in the chat were like, "Oh, that's Crosshair," and then or Tech, and then he died, and then that was it. And I was
I don't
like,
know. I didn't notice a 5th person come in with Hemlock because he went into the training area with those 4 tubes by himself.
yes, no, it was after all that. It was towards that final fight. So he wasn't in there in the beginning fight when they captured them. He was in there at the end fight when they all started dying off. He was with Hemlock, and a Hemlock took Omega, and he took that one trooper and left, and then that guy was still there.
I'll have to go watch that again. I don't remember that at all.
Really? Because he was the last one that died, the one that Hunter killed.
Well, I thought the clone rescued clone shot the last one because he saved Echo, and Echo like they looked at each other, nodded, and like, all right, it's done.
No, Hunter killed the last dude. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna pull it up now.
Anyway,
Anyways,
but I thought that
either way.
that Tech was going to be one of these people,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just weird that like the one with the swords, like his helmet got knocked off, and you could see that it was a clone.
Yeah.
But like were they all supposed to be clones? Because that big guy, like, he was like much taller. He had a different shaped body, and like one of them was like really small. Like, I don't know if they're all
I think they
clones,
were all clones.
especially that big guy. Like, I just don't understand like how that would be a clone because
So
he's.
the one that Hunter threw the spear through, that was that guy.
And I thought that was just a regular sniper of the
No,
four.
that was the dude, the guy
I
that
don't
we've
know.
been dealing with all the
I don't
whole
know.
time.
I would have to go back and look because they had all similar armor on.
Well,
So
yeah,
like I just figured it was just copy paste armor. I didn't think anything of it because it wasn't obvious to me. There was nothing physical looking difference, and I'm like, I don't remember.
his helmet looked exactly like the the one that's been called on the whole time,
Okay, I guess
and so
whatever. I would have
I
to. Like I
thought it
said,
would have been crazy though if he would have done that and that would have happened, and then his helmet would have fell off and it would have been
right.
tech, dude. Imagine that.
But I guess they didn't. That was the one thing that I guess I was just disappointed by that they didn't. Well, one, they didn't kill anybody, but also Tech wasn't.
Alive or really explain, like, they didn't really talk about him much this whole season. They mentioned him in like the first episode that he was no longer with us, or then when like every once in a while they'd say his name, and then in this episode they're Dr. Hemlock's like, yeah, like your other brother, you guys are all gonna die, or blah blah blah. And then it's like that was it. And then at the very end we see his goggles again. And like that's it.
Still no body, so he still could be alive.
I get, yeah, sure.
I don't know. It was just weird that like everyone thought he was still alive. So it's like I wonder if the
They
writers just didn't realize that was going to happen, or if they purposely left it ambiguous so that there'd be hype of like people like talking about it and
guessing, and I
theories and
mean,
stuff.
I feel like they're really good at like getting you to think. And typically, we're right. Typically, they aren't dead. You know, like typically, like how many times did Maul freaking die until he actually finally died? You know what I mean? Like,
There's just once that he got cut in
true,
half.
but that was a big once. So I don't know. It's just one of those things where it's like we just assumed, and he felt his death, and then we never saw him. Like we never got a body. We never, like, even if we saw Dr. Hemlock walk up to the body and grab the goggles out, like we didn't see anything. So we were just assuming, but
Yep.
he's not alive.
All
So
right. Cool.
kudos to Dave Filoni for actually having someone fall to their death.
Yep. But we might as well try and do a scene by scene with this episode. So in classic fashion, we're on Tantus. And every week we talk about how good the animation is, but this opening shot of Mount Tantus and then the ships flying over the woods, the forest, jungle, was probably the best it's been so far.
Perfect.
Like, it looked live action to me, or at least like live action CGI, like in a modern movie, like how perfect it was. Like, and then later on at the end of the episode, that sushi, that was like Pixar looking sushi right there. Like, I
Better
don't
than
know.
Pixar. Like we were saying, Pixar losing their. Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, so they're just flying around. Wrecker's hurt from last week when he got thrown against that tree with the bear thing. And he's hurting. And this whole episode, he's hurting. He's struggling. Like, I
I
don't know.
definitely thought he was gonna die, dude.
Was it supposed to be like a concussion or something? Is that what we were supposed to like? Because he was grabbing his head, like with the.
I think it was his chest, because then his chest have a giant like hole in it.
There was that, but I felt like didn't Hunter put like a med pack on his head at the beginning, that first scene?
I couldn't tell where it was, personally.
But he was really
I can
struggling,
check.
and he was.
He was not having a good day.
I was like, he's gonna go out, he's gonna die, He's got to be the first to go.
Jeremiah's already yawning. We just started.
Already yawning. And so, but they're like, whatever. He's like, whatever. I'll be fine. We can just go. And so they start making their way to the mountain. We jump to Hemlock, and he's like, tells all the troopers to guard the vault. Don't let anyone through. Don't leave your post until I say, type of thing. And then they report that one of the insurgents was captured, and that person is Rampart. He was captured last week. And so Hemlock goes to see him, and Rampart is kind of taunting Hemlock, like, your secret facility is now found, blah, blah, blah. And Hemlock was like, well, I expected at some point Clone Force 99 to show up. Like, it was just inevitable. I was waiting for him, and I'm prepared for them. But I was kind of like, I don't think you were prepared, because crap hits the fan really fast.
I think maybe he was prepared, but he wasn't prepared for Omega to release
That too.
the Zilla Beast.
And so Hemlock tells him that the research that he's doing, the science project that he's working on, makes him indispensable to the Emperor and the Empire. And that's why it's so important. Like, he thinks he's super secure, that no matter what goes on, his job is going to be upheld by the Emperor. Because at the beginning of the season, the Emperor says that this is utmost importance and you have all the funding you want. And so then the scene ends with Nala Se looking out of her cell across from Rampart, which was an interesting thing, because they both were allies in a sense at one point, and now they're both in a cell across from each other, which is kind of funny. And then it jumps to Emery and Echo. They're in the science, the lab or whatever, and she just says that you can't find the vault on, because he's trying to like find the vault with his screwdriver thing, and she's like, well, it's too heavily encrypted, you're not really gonna find it, but it's however many light levels down, blah blah blah. And Echo asks, why are you helping? And she's like, well, I didn't realize what I was getting into at first, but now I see my error and I want to help, and that's good enough for Echo. And so then we jump to Omega and the other kids, and they're very nervous about the plan. The kids, like, they're just don't think it's gonna work. They're worried, blah blah blah. And Omega's like, don't worry, I've been trained for this. I got this. I know what I'm doing.
Been working on this my whole life.
Yep. And they then put the plan into motion. They start walking away, and so the Pantoran girl with the baby is sitting there, and her job is to watch when the doctor is there, and when she walks away, she taps the table with one of her pieces to say that the doctor is not looking. And so then Eva, Jax, and Omega talk to the medical droid, and Eva's like, my game's broke. Can you fix it? And the droid's like, I don't know how to do that. I'm a medical droid. Like, whatever. But then Omega stabs one of the council on the back of the thing. Like, oh, all right, this is what we're doing. I don't know what's going on, but we're doing it. And so she tries to hack into this droid, and she's like, I've done this before, but it's not this kind, so it's going to take a while. We don't know what she's doing, like what she's trying to do. And then the Pantoran girl like signals that the doctor is coming back by like knocking over pieces, like that's just the sign. And so Eva and Jax are watching that take place, and she's like, the doctor's coming. And the doctor comes and talks to the Pantoran girl. Where is everyone? Well, okay. I'm like, there's one giant room with 6 little rooms. Like, either they're in the middle room or they're in the side.
Yeah,
rooms.
like where do you think they went?
Turn around. Okay, but whatever. And so then they come out and, hey, blah blah blah. We weren't doing anything.
We were with the droid the whole time.
They scanned us or whatever. And like, well, that doesn't make sense. This you weren't scheduled to have a scan right now. And then she's like, what were you actually doing? Blah, blah, blah. And Omega's like, no, they're telling the truth. We were just getting scanned. And did you catch what was happening as it was happening?
Kind of, yeah.
Because I was watching it, and then I saw it was like a wide shot of everyone, and I just saw it come, the
The
droid
droid just sneak
circling
around.
around, and it started moving toward. I'm like, is that thing gonna like kill the doctor, or what's gonna go?
Grab
And
it by the throat.
it needled the doctor, and the
Instantly knocked her
shocker, or
out.
just like paralyzed, like
I think it was like
make
a
her pass out.
paralyzed dot, like passed her out kind of shot.
So then she fell down, and they went for Omega's room and was like, all right, make a sling for the baby. And so they have like I guess they have a drawer of clothes, extra clothes in there, which I didn't realize. And so the Pantoran girl starts making a sling for the baby. Jax puts the baby on his back. Omega's ripping off the wall apart, ripping the wall apart, and then they start climbing. And that was really, dude, when Jax was like went through the hole, and I thought that baby was gonna hit its head. Like it was just like perfect, like pivot, like how it pivoted back when he bent over. But I was like, knock that kid out, keep him quiet or something. I don't know. But they're gone. They start climbing. Jump to Wrecker. He's struggling still. He needs extra help. They don't know what to do. No more med packs. And then it jumps to Emery and Echo going to the vault and going through the vault. And Emery was explaining what the vault is and what's going on with the vault and stuff. So Echo's like, oh, okay, type of thing. And then this is where crap starts hitting the fan, because they get to the Zillo Beast, the kids, and Omega's like, all right, well, I gotta jump out and take care of this. And this is the baby starting to get a little fussy at this point. Omega jumps down. She's sneaking around, goes to a computer screen, whatever, and starts doing whatever she does do. But then the baby starts crying. I was like, this is not good. This is bad. Two troopers are like, what's that? And the one guy, it's like, I don't know if it's a scientist or whoever it was like, oh, go check it out. Like, go figure it out. So they go and they pull off the thing, and it's the Pantoran girl, and she's like, hi. I thought that was funny. And then Jax like leans back, is basically like, hi also. And the troopers are like, it's a bunch of kids. And then the other doctor guy or whatever was like, well, go grab them. And while this is happening, Omega opened the shield gate type thing, whatever, that's over the pool, starts draining the water, and the Zillo Beast rises. And crap hits the fan. Like they hit the alarms or whatever, they start doing what they can, and one guy gets eaten,
mauled.
This one bite gone. And so they're starting to shoot the laser thing, the energy laser. That the Zillo Beast is like, nah, I'm not about this. So he just smashes that, and
And I
that's
like it was like the same laser thing that was on Hoth.
Nah.
It was the same kind of design.
That's like a ball with like a spike on it, isn't it?
No, I remember because I had the toy. It was literally just like a satellite that has like a point, and then all the lasers go to one point and shoot out.
I don't remember that.
Well, how often
But
do you watch episode 5?
But isn't there also like a thing with like a ball with like an ice cream cone looking thing on it on Hoth?
Yeah, there's like that was like a different kind of gunner thing. There's that.
Oh, I know. You're talking about the little like mini one. I know what
No,
you're talking about, because that's in Battlefront. and that was a super stupid weak thing. It's different though.
Yeah.
It's similar thing because
Yeah.
there's Death
Similar
Star has the
design.
same laser. It's a dish
Yeah.
with a thing, but they use these lasers last season when they captured the Zilbeast when they
Mhm.
escaped.
Well, it's a different
And I
type of thing for sure.
and I think they used lasers also in Clone Wars to detain the one that was on Coruscant. I think.
Gotcha.
Um, but then at this point, we jump back to the vault, and the doctor is being taken away because Hemlock is there as Emery and Echo are walking in. And she's like, "What happened? The kids are gone. Omega's gone. They escaped somehow. Blah blah blah. And we're gonna find them. Blah blah blah." And then Scorch gets a call. And he's like, "The Zulus escaped." And Hemlock's like, "This is not a good day," basically.
This is not fun.
So he's like, whatever. He's like, get the detainment, whatever, together. Let's prepare for this. Blah blah blah. And Echo and Emery are just there by themselves in the vault room, and he's like, Omega did this. And Emery's like, how on earth do you know that? Because I would have done the same thing. Like, oh yeah, you're right. Class, that's something definitely Rex and Echo and all those people, that clones would have done the same thing. Create a distraction to move resources to try and detain that, and then you try and escape. So super smart. He flashes back to the kids, and this is a funny scene because the baby's asleep when this little beast is destroying everything, and Jax is like, "This is what puts the kid to sleep." I thought that was funny. That when it's super quiet, the baby's fussy, and then when there's destruction, the baby's sleeping. But then the Zillo Beast looks up and sees that he can go that way. I don't know. Obviously, he didn't know there's a door there or a vault
No.
or a hangar.
I thought it
But
was really smart for Omega to like watch where the Zilbeast is gonna go and then just follow it.
right,
Like just follow the trail of destruction and you'll get to the right spot essentially.
yep. So it climbs up towards a hangar bay, and so then it flashes over to the Bad Batch and Crosshair. He has a shaky hand,
Really
and
shaky.
yep, and oh, I should say that before we jump to like we were in the hangar and all the troopers were out there lining up ready to take on the Zillo Beast. And so then it jumps to Crosshair. His hand's shaky. They see troopers in the woods, in the jungle, looking around. So they have howlers. Is that what they're called? Those dogs?
Mm-hmm.
Howlers. They're looking around, blah, blah, blah. Crosshair is realizing that Wrecker is just in too rough a shape. And he's basically, I'm taking the lead on this. Like, this is my responsibility. I've been on this planet before. I've been in the mountain before. Like, I can do this. You guys, like, you need to go back to the whatever and
Call Rex.
call Rex. Does he want Rex to come or just to
Both.
aid in the fight or just to like extract him? I can't remember.
I
What do you
don't
say?
think he really said. I think he just said call Rex if I
And
remember.
Hunter and Wrecker are like, no, we're not doing that. And he's like, Clone Force 99 died when Tech died. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that
That
was
was
like
rough.
Crosshair said that.
And so they didn't like that. And he's like, I gotta go. I deserve this. Like, I have to go in to save Omega. You guys go. And Hunter and Wrecker are like, no, we're in this together. We count the cost. We know what it is. Tech did that. And we're not going to let you do Plan 99, which is to sacrifice yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doing this together. And they're like, okay. And they're looking at the troopers with the howlers in the woods. And the howlers, they're starting to freak out and they run away. And they're like, uh-oh, they sent something. Then you hear a bunch of loud noise in the distance. And Hunter looks up and straightens up like out of shock, basically. And the Zilla Beast is bursting out of the hangar doors, and
The best part.
the Crosshair was like, "Was that Echo or was that Omega?" And then Hunter and Wrecker at the same time say Omega.
Omega.
So I just that was really good,
That was a funny part. It
good,
was so
good,
good.
good line. And it's just cool seeing that they all know each other. Like Echo figured it out, Hunter and Wrecker they figured it out, and they're like, "Well, Omega did this. She knows we're here, basically, and this is our way into this destroyed hangar door. So we're gonna take advantage of that." And they go. And so jumps to Omega and the kids. And this is that scene I mentioned earlier where they got to climb and Jax is scared of heights. And she's like, Wrecker is scared of heights as well, but he's the strongest soldier I know. And you can do this. And she said something like
always look forward, never look back.
that. Yeah. So
The way
Jax,
she said it too was so beautiful. And it was like, I'm like, "Dude, I love this Omega. The leader Omega, the one that's not questioning plans, the one that's not like she's fully engaged and she's the one that's actually leading and has the full plan and it's actually working. And I think like this version of Omega is like her whole story from her being scared to her making decisions without being asked or like without being told and then messing up is all coming down to this final thing where she has to lead and protect these kids and she's the one that's guiding them through this and I think it's so beautiful. Like her story arc just came so perfect.
yeah. Because I think, cause like in season one, like she was always, she wasn't like questioning like Hunter's leadership, but like she always wanted to be involved in the mission. But he was always like, "I need you to do this," and she's like, "Well, no, I want to go with you." And like she like didn't want to follow the plan, but like now like she understands the mission, the bigger picture of things, and so in her situation, she has to lead these kids, and it's like great because she's like doing all the hard work, like she's the one like climbing down, releasing this little beast and stuff, but she also has to like protect these kids and like encourage them and show them how to do things. And she's just like the whole like well-rounded leader that we see her grow into. And it's just like you said, it's this really great, well-written story arc. And I think Omega is the best part of this season. Like it was just she's just been getting better and better. And so um then it jumps to Scorch, sending a report to Hemlock. Like the Zilla Beast has escaped into the woods in the jungle, and Hemlock is like, "Well, I need you to send a ship, to send the ships to try and." But he's like, "No, we can't do that because we're gonna spread our troopers thin by doing that, and we need people here." And Hemlock is not phased because in a moment he goes to get his ex troopers to take care of the issues at hand, and so. Um, Um, so they go to what we know is the training lab, where we did see that earlier this season when Dr. Carr was like, "I want to be the head scientist."
Mm-hmm.
I think it was that same room
Yeah.
where he was in, and we were like, "What was he looking at?" Well, this is what he was looking at, and so he goes to the lab and he releases the 4X troopers that are in these tubes, and so
And
um,
they are sick.
So like they're all different ones. There's like one big one. Like I said, like I don't know if they're all supposed to be clones because there's one that is a clone that we saw because his helmet was taken off. But like that first one,
I wonder if
like
they're all like semi clones of the Bad Batch.
no,
Like
I
they're
don't.
modified clones.
Well, they're modified clones, but they're not derived from the Bad Batch specifically.
Remember that episode of Mighty Morphin when they had like the Rangers, the Power Rangers, and they're like clones of themselves and they're fighting themselves?
I vaguely. You remember that? I remember the Pokemon movie more than I remember. Remember that first Pokemon movie
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah,
when
the
the
Pokemon the movie.
they're fighting like their clone self, and it was like slow motion, like sad
Mm-hmm.
music. I'm like, what's going on? What kind of movie is this?
So good. That's a good movie, bro. But
Yeah,
yeah.
like Mew and Mewtwo like flying around fighting each other, but like
Mm-hmm.
whatever. um, but we're not here for Pokemon. We're here for Bad Batch.
And if you're here for Pokemon, welcome. But this is a Star Wars podcast.
Yep. And so yes, so then Echo and Emery then they find where the Zillo Beast pool like detainment area was, and it's all destroyed. And they see where it climbed up, and he's like, "Well, where does that lead?" She's like, "Oh, to one of the hangar things," because they're assuming that Omega is following the Zillo Beast out,
Mm-hmm.
and Echo's like, "Is you know a shortcut?" Because like he doesn't want to climb all the way up that thing. She's like, "Yeah, follow me," basically. Um, and so this is when things start to get a little more juicy because they're going. Omega is going to the hangar. Emery and Echo are going to the hangar. The Bad Batch, they're entering through that hangar into the facility. So it's like, all right, they're all going to meet up here or something's going to go down. We got the X Troopers are in things. So I'm like, all right, it's all coming together. What's going to happen? And so the Bad Batch, they get in there. They're looking around. They realize they're way outnumbered. There's tons of troopers. The 4 X Troopers are standing on the ridge, kind of looking in, and you see all 3 of them. Like one's a sniper, one's has like sword things, another one
Mm-hmm.
has like a spear thing. So they kind of reminded me of Purge Troopers that we see in like the Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Survivor games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we see them in anything, any shows or anything. I don't
I
think we
don't
saw.
think so.
I don't
No.
think we saw them in the Kenobi series or anything like that. But um, yeah, so they kind of reminded me of those guys, which I wonder if somehow this project with those were kind of related, if they were kind of overlapping programs or anything like that. But
Maybe. Be
it was
interesting.
similar look and kind of
But this program was completely destroyed. So
right. But I wonder if like
the
the Emperor,
concept of it.
the concept of it was like at that point was overlapping with the Inquisitorius, because I think they're under the Inquisitorius. I think
Mm-hmm.
like that program. I think I have to look into it more detail, but yeah. So then they realize they're outnumbered, and like the sniper is about to take out Hunter, and he can sense it apparently that he's getting aimed at, and so he dodges out of the way before the shot comes, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Um, and Crosshair is like, "You guys need to get out of here. I'm gonna try and slow him down." So he shoots like his one of those bomb things like on an overhanging something, whatever. And so then troopers are in pursuit. Boom, boom, boom. He's trying to shoot people. The bomb goes off. It falls down, blocks him, whatever. Um, but then as Wrecker and Hunter are trying to escape through the door, like the door is like blocking, like it's moving. But then like a ship from the outside is flying in and starts shooting at him, and that blows up, and Hunter gets knocked out. Wrecker tries to go get Hunter to help him. He gets blown up or something too, and he's reaching for his gun or something, and one of the troopers, ex troopers, is like has his like electro beam thing, is like has him on the ground, shocking him. Crosshair, he gets blown up after he blows up another bomb with one of the troopers on a shield, and he's trying to reach for his gun to like help Wrecker because Wrecker's down for the count. And then one of the ex troopers puts his foot on Crosshair's shooting hand and says something like, "You need to take better care of your hand" or something like that.
He said you got to take better care of your shooting hand.
And then he takes one of the swords and cuts off his hand. What
Bro,
is going on?
but it like cut and then it transferred the scenes.
Yeah,
There's like
cut right.
another scene. It cut right into the scene, literally,
Well, it was like the Zilla Beast was screaming really loud, and it
and then
just cut to the vault, and it was super quiet.
it was like instant. It was so cool. I thought that was like one of my favorite parts of this episode. Was like it was super loud and super intense, and then it just went to the vault and it was like dead silent, like in the middle of a roar. It was like
Yeah.
I thought it was so creative. I loved it. I was like, this is so sick. But yeah, and then when he cut off his hand, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so sad.
Yep. And so that happens. Crusher gets his hand cut off, and I think that cut was to the kids, almost like on the edge of the hangar, about to get into the hangar, and the kids were like, why is the shooting stop? Why is it so quiet? And
Mhm.
Omega said something. I can't remember what she said, but it was basically like, I think we're in the clear now, or something like that. They must be gone
We
or
gotta
something.
go.
Um, and so they go. Um, and so it jumps to Echo and Emery.
Mm.
They're walking, trying to make their way to the hangar still. And as they're going, they see all three bodies being carted away. I'm like, what the heck?
I know. I
Like,
thought they're dead, dude.
I'm like, I know, okay, they're not gonna just die and then they're just laying on a cart and they're just. But I'm like, dang, this is like a rough scene because Echo doesn't know what's going on, and then he sees them being carted away, their bodies being carted away.
Mhm.
And it's like apparently, like the way he asked Emery, like, where are they taking him? Like he's like
He
knew
knew
that
they
there's,
weren't dead.
but I'm like that was like for Echo to see that had been terrible.
Oh yeah, it was
But
heart wrenching for sure.
like she's like I forget what she said. She just says them where they're gonna go or whatever, and then Echo is like, I can help them eventually, but we gotta get to the hangar. And so the kids get to the hangar. They're sneaking around, and they get caught by a couple of troopers. Hey, what are you doing over here? You're not supposed to be in here. Blah blah blah. Classic lines. And then the trooper on the other side of them shoots him. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess Echo's there already. And he's like, getting into trouble, Havoc 5 or something like that. And Omega's
Mhm.
like, Echo. And that was a cool that like she was able to recognize the voice. But I also think he probably just called her Havoc 5 a lot. And so she's just used to hearing that. But uh and
Either way, it was awesome.
yep. And then I think it was Eva looks up and sees Dr. Carr or Emery, and Doctor, you're here to help us, and like she's a surprise kind of type of thing because earlier in the season, Eva was like telling Omega that she's one of the good ones or something like that,
Mhm.
and so she was happy to see that she's actually now helping.
She's actually a good one.
Yep, and so they're make their way to a shuttle and says Heko is like, here, bring the kids to these coordinates, get out of here. And Omega is basically, I'm staying here, and the kids like looking like give her a big hug, and like Omega's like, I'll be fine. Dr. Carr's gonna take care of you. Where you're gonna go, you're gonna be safe. You don't have to worry about any danger going there. And then they leave, and Omega and Echo stay back. And Omega's like, all right, let's complete the mission. She's putting the mission ahead of herself. And so, um, yeah. And so this was I'm sure that like when the kids and Dr. Carr were on the ship leaving, they were really thirsty. And it was a
True.
rough day. They needed to sit down and take a break on the because I don't know how long it takes to get to Pabu
Or they need some energy.
or some energy.
And
And
blue
so,
milk is not gonna cut it.
yep. And if you remember from the VCU fan film movie we made, there's a whole scene in there where they're taking like pallets of Wesley Andrews coffee and tea. So I'm sure that one of their storage facilities was Mount Tantus. They wanted to protect their supply of Wesley Andrews coffee and tea with the highest security. And so on the ship, there was definitely some Wesley Andrews coffee and tea, and they happen to be our sponsor for today's episode, Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. So if you like a hot beverage, such as coffee or tea, take a listen to this commercial break and get a great discount on some coffee.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code EMPIRERADIO, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do it.
Do it.
All right, cool. Well, the kids are safe. They're gone. I'm happy that they were able to get off and not get hurt or anything. They're not going to kill those kids off. I knew that. But, like, they're perfectly fine. So, we go back to the training facility / training lab, whatever you want to call it. And our boys, they're getting shock treatment.
Tortured.
I think it's so. I remember, like, in way back in season 1 on Camino, Crosshair was getting like shocked to like get his biochip like re-energized or whatever. Like they were shocking him with electricity back then.
Oh yeah.
And so, and then, but I was also thinking, Mando season 3. Remember the Republic was using the shock treatment to like make people like the ex-Imperial members like rehabilitated by using electroshock therapy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it was like the same thing. Like the Empire was doing this
to control the clones,
to like recondition clones to do bad things, but then the New Republic was using the same technology in hopes to rehabilitate people / brainwash them into thinking they're doing good stuff or to doing good
pretty
stuff.
dark.
So it's kind of, I was like, I think we were talking about that this Mando season 3, and we were saying like, dang, the New Republic isn't really that good. Like they're doing some pretty questionable things. They're just borrowing stuff from the Empire. So, but Hemlock is there talking to Hunter and is like, if you guys survive this treatment, you guys are going to be some really good ex-troopers. Or I don't even know what he called them, but like you guys are going to be some great soldiers for the Empire. And Hunter's like, we will survive, but you won't. And then I can't remember if it was Scorch or if it was some other trooper or worker or whatever comes in and is like, sir, you're getting a call from Tarkin. Like, uh-oh. Like this is going to be an interesting conversation. So, but then it jumps to Echo and Omega. They're working their way towards the cells with all the clones. And they're just shooting all these troopers, and they're just holding armfuls of guns. Like, so they've already killed like a bunch of people on their way there and took their guns. They get into the barracks or whatever of these cells and start killing all the troopers. And so this is where our debate comes.
Mhm.
So I think we only see like 4 or 5 doors open. Like they actually show 4
Gonna
or 5.
count.
I think it was 4 or 5 like whatever, like you see them open. But there's way more than 4 or 5 troopers. So how does this work when we only see 5 doors, but it's implied that more than 5 doors were open? But it was also just one act by. So does that count? Can one act that opens up many doors count as?
I think it counts. Without him, they wouldn't open.
You just don't want to lose the bet.
I think without.
I feel like we're at a standstill. Like I'll pay for the movie, but you gotta like bring pizza or something.
All right, we'll do that.
Deal. All right,
Deal.
but
We'll do that. That's fine. I'll provide the food. You provide the movie. Oh, okay, fine.
Yep.
Deal.
So, but like, yeah. So there was tons of clones. I don't know. I thought there was gonna be more than there were, but it seemed like there's only like 20 clones or something like that there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought there was gonna be like hundreds of them.
Yeah.
But there is a whole other mountain that we don't know what's going on inside there. Like,
true.
They
Maybe
never
that's where Tech was.
Probably. Like, there's a whole nother mountain. I just want to know what's over there. But spoiler alert: at the end of this, Tarkin is like, "We're shutting down this facility."
He needs his money.
So, I guess we'll never know. But yes. So one of the troopers inside one of the cells is like, "What's going on? What are you guys doing?" Omega's like, "We're breaking out." I'm like, "Nice." Nalase gets released as well as Rampart. And Nalase sees Omega and she's like, "Why did you come back, Omega?" Like talk a little faster.
I know that's literally what I was like, girl, we are in a rush. You need to hurry up. Like this
It's
whole
like,
I'm falling asleep in the middle of a conversation stuff it's not cute anymore. Like, let's go. Like I was thinking the same thing, dude. I'm like, we don't have time for you to decide when you're gonna talk. Like, let's go.
I just feel like during the span of these 3 seasons, she's been talking slower and slower.
For real, dude. This
And, like,
voice actor is like falling asleep in the middle of reading.
But even like after when they part ways here and she's like walking to the lab, she's just like taking a stroll, like let's just walk, like
She walks like a praying mantis. Like this giant, weird, awkward steps, and she's too tall for her own good, kind of thing.
Yep. But she says, so okay, there's a bunch of stuff going on here, but I'll stick with Nalase's part. And she ends up talking more to Omega, and she's like, the Empire can't have the science. They can't have the research. It has to be destroyed, and we also have to stop Hemlock. Like, both these things have to end in order for this science to be removed from the Empire. So basically, no Hemlock and no science data. That's how everyone will be safe. Rampart's there. He's just kind of like, what's going on? He's trying to like pick sides, kind of, blah, blah, blah. And it's not like I have in my notes, but like, I think Echo said to Rampart, because Rampart's like, we gotta leave, like, just go. Let's like, screw everything, just run. And Echo's like, no, we clones, we don't leave our brothers behind. And Rampart's basically like, that's one of your weaknesses. And then Hemlock says that later. That's one of your weaknesses. and so they have to go separate ways. So the Echo, Omega, and some of the clones, or it was kind of weird because when Nalase left, she left with some clones, but then the next scene, there's no clones with her.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what happened there. But she goes to the lab, and then the rest of the team goes to go to the training lab, because one of the clones was asked, like said, like most likely they're going to be in a training lab as if where they were taken, and so Echo, Omega, and clones go to a training lab, and then Rampart is there in the middle, and he has to look which way does he want to go. Does he want to go with Nala Se to stop her, or does he want to go with Echo and Omega to save the Bad Batch? And he chooses to follow Nala Se. And so it then cuts to Hemlock taking a call from Tarkin. And Tarkin is a very serious individual, but in this moment he was super happy. Like,
Yep.
oh, I hear that the Zillow has escaped and your facility has been infiltrated and blah 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 blah. Like, this is not good, blah blah blah. And Hemlock's, I have everything under control. And Tarkin's like, well, we'll see about that. I am on my way, and we'll see what's.
I'll be arriving shortly.
Yep. Like, this is exciting. We get to see Tarkin. What is he bringing with him? Like, at this point, I'm like, is he gonna bring Vader or some Inquisitor? I was like, at this point, I didn't think they were gonna do that.
No, I
But,
didn't.
like,
I didn't even think about that. I was just more like, do they need to hurry up? And I'll say with their slow poke, but like no, like we got to keep moving. And then that happened. I was like, oh man, like let's go. We gotta go.
And so so it goes to Nala Se then after this. I should say, so they find where the training facility is, but then they wanted Omega to go in the tube system again to scout out. Like, can you go to there, look in, see, tell us anything before we go in, because we don't know what we're getting ourselves into. So she does that. Then it jumps to now. Let's say she's walking to the lab, and there's troopers on the ground dead, and she reaches down and grabs a thermal detonator. And I was like, she's gonna blow up this lab. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's going in, and then, but your boy Rampart, he's sneaking behind, blah blah blah, and he goes and he picks up a blaster from one of the dead troopers. I'm like, at this point, I was like, crap's gonna hit the fan really quick coming up soon.
In my mind, I was like, there she goes.
Oh, gosh. So she gets to the lab and she starts, Nalase does, and she starts
pulling up data and
doing this stuff. And this thing comes out of the ground with all their
blood samples.
No, that wasn't blood. That was data pads, or like the hard drive or whatever. So in the Jedi Temple, all of their archives are those blue lines.
Like that.
These ones were red, so I guess the red has to be the Empire, evil, bad information. And so
naughty information.
It comes out of the ground, and it's all the data discs or whatever that has all the information, all the research, all that stuff. And she's going through the computer, and Omega pops up, and then you hear a click, which I didn't know that blasters had to click before you can shoot. I don't know. It was like he cocked it, like he had a pistol or something, but whatever.
Well, it was like that, those side officer pistols,
right?
So,
and so Rampart and Nalase, right? He's like, we're gonna talk. Tell me everything going on here. I want to know what's going on. And he's looking at the computer. He has his gun at her, and during this, she activates the thermal detonator.
She pulls a Leia,
and it's about to go down. And so I didn't like make this connection till after the fact, like after my second time watching, but it acts the same as like a normal grenade
like
where like you hold it closed and you're fine.
Yeah.
So like she holds the button down and activates it. So she's like, if he shoots me, then I'll end up dropping the grenade and then it will blow. Like I didn't catch that the first time. I thought I didn't realize there was that same thing. I thought you just click the button and turn it on because there's a lot of those bombs also.
Yeah.
Where you push
It's
the
like-
button, activate it.
You like pull that thing off, and then if you move your hand, it blows up. Because remember, Leia shuts it back in episode 6.
Yeah.
So,
But I thought that was cool of Nala say that she is like, I'm probably going to die here. I'm going to activate this so when he does shoot me, it will go off.
Yep.
So, but I'm guessing then you can also push it again and turn it off. So,
yeah.
like, she was prepared for both things. Let's see. And so Omega, she does some recon. She's looking through the vents. She's like, I see one X Trooper or whatever. I don't see anyone else. I see Hunter, Wrecker, and Crosshair. Echo and all the clones, they go in, but then the rest of the X Troopers come out from behind the block side of view or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just start fighting. And Omega, she sneaks in and she gets on the top platform where the crew is, and there's just the one X Trooper up there, the one with like the staff with the electro end or whatever, the one that's the goofy looking like big one, like
Big Juicy.
I thought that's Big Juicy back there.
They're related, dude.
Oh, they're
It's all
related.
clones.
Okay. That's his grandson.
Yeah, that's Big Juicy, but the junior.
I have Junior.
You have Junior, yeah.
If you're just listening, you have no idea what I'm talking about. I have a 48
Go watch on
inch,
YouTube.
Yeah, I have a 48-inch stormtrooper
with a
in the
top
back.
hat. This
A
boy's
top
been
hat.
rocking a top hat the last couple weeks.
Yep. And so
Big Juicy knows some magic or what, Jeremiah?
maybe. Never know. So Omega, she's trying to release her brothers that are in these electroshock therapy things. And she's keeps looking over, making sure the trooper is over there. And then at one point she turns and looks and she gets shot back, and he's over there in the same position, but he's just fully turned around. It's like, whoa, like,
Yeah.
okay. And so he starts walking towards her, and so she shoots him twice with a stun shot.
Mhm.
Doesn't stop him. Now, I don't know if you noticed this, but I noticed it the second time. So she shoots him twice. He's unfazed. You see her switch her button on her blaster
Mhm.
to do like a regular full shot.
She was gonna kill him,
Oh man.
but Omega can't kill anything 'cause she's a child.
No, she's
Also, she never used her new bow this season.
yeah. What was that bull crap?
She got a new bow and arrow, the crossbow thing, and she never used it.
It was like in the promo poster and everything.
Oh yeah,
Everyone was like, "That's you take off the crossbow aspect of it. It's exactly the same as Boba Fett's blaster,
yeah, and
the
she never used it.
E3 or whatever it's called."
Uh-huh.
But
Also, speaking of that, we never got Boba.
never did.
It's kind of sad.
But I think she shot last season. I think she shot some people though.
Not without her her bow and arrow, yeah.
But there was kill shots though.
Yes, but she doesn't do it with a gun.
Nah.
We had this whole conversation.
Did we?
And so even in because I said that just give her a gun, and then you're like you're saying to give kids guns, and then it was like a big thing.
Oh yeah, earlier this season.
Yeah, but it was just like she never even used her new crossbow, and like that was a scene too, like because
Echo gave it to her, right?
Echo gave it to her. It was like, oh, this is an upgrade from your current one, and blah blah blah. And
it would have been cool if, like, spoiler alert, at the end of this episode, the final
she had
scene
it.
had it like over her shoulder or something. That would have been cool.
Yeah,
Maybe
that
she
would've been
did, or
dope.
something. Maybe I have to go back. It
I
was
didn't
dark,
see.
so like, it was hard to see like what she had on
I'll
her.
check right now, but I don't think so.
But yeah, so let's see where I lost my point spot in the notes. Where am I? Oh, so then Hemlock comes in because the trooper has her, grabbed her, and he comes in and he handcuffs Omega to himself. Basically,
Smart.
which is very smart. Like, you're not gonna get away. We're in this together. And then
die kind of thing.
And then he activates the toxic gas, which last season we see when Crosshair is trying to escape, that he releases that same gas. So that was cool that they brought that in from last season. And so the gas is being sprayed down below where all the troopers are fighting the ex-troopers. And I'm like, dude, this is pretty nuts. Are all these clones going to die? Because, like, Echo is the only one down there with a helmet. So, like, I think, I don't remember what he said, but I know the helmets have, like, some sort of filtration system, I think. But I was kind of worried that all these clones were going to die. And so then we go back to the science lab with Nala Se and Rampart. And Rampart is like, this is some really good information I just learned. Because she's, I guess, the last scene before it cut, like, he told her, like, you're going to tell me everything about Project Necromancer. So at this point, he has all the information. He's downloaded it onto a data pad. And this is going to be a great bargaining chip because the Empire is going to want this information. They're going to give me whatever I want in return. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. You know that you're going to give them the information and they're just going to kill you. Like, I don't know why he thinks he has any power. And he's like, either way, this information is going to belong to the Empire. And I really...
He was like, I didn't realize a kid could be so valuable.
And I really, 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 really love what Nala Se said. She's like, my research will never belong to the Empire. It will always be Kaminoan. And so, like, I really like that line, that this is our science. This is our research. We created this. You needed us.
It would have been cool if her voice, like, got a little deep.
Or
like
a little more
stern,
angry.
Yeah. It was just like she almost fell asleep in the middle of that sentence too.
Yep. And he's like, Rampart's like, I don't think so. And shoots her. Boom. And she drops. You hear the clang of the thing. He looks down, sees it. He looks up and has an expression on his face. Boom goes the dynamite. He dies. The whole lab and the hard drive thing all gets blown up, and it's all contained in that thing. The explosion doesn't blow out into the hallway.
Yeah, because it goes like to the outside of it, and it's like,
dude,
it was so
Nala
cool.
Se, R.I.P. She went out like a G. Like,
R.I.P. She went out with like a G. Now that's a shirt.
Yep,
that's gonna be your shirt, Jeremiah.
Is this gonna be because we can't do like copyrighted stuff? It'd be a stick figure with an extra long neck.
Yeah. No, it'll be that guy with the long neck. You see the videos of that dude that has like super long neck?
No.
Have you never like, he's like called long neck.
Maybe, I just don't know what, I just can't think of it. But
it's the guy with a really long neck. We'll just put him and then coming out with a bubble.
Or it could, to say Nala Se went out like a G, like it's a really long, like there's space between all the letters, so it's like wraps around like your body, so you have to like read it around, because it's like how she says it.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Be hard to design.
Yep.
But yeah, I'll get working on that. That sounds good.
But yes, I like now. Let's say like no one cared about her from episode 2, like back then and during like Clone Wars. Like she's just like this person going along with the thing. Like, as long as we get paid.
Slowly talking and walking like a praying
But
mantis.
but she became a really cool character in the end, and I like how she went out. It was pretty cool. So, boom goes the dynamite there. So I'm trying to read my notes. So Hemlock is there in the training lab. Everyone's kind of detained. Whatever, the troopers down below have Echo and the clones basically at gunpoint. Someone comes in and says, it might have been Scorch, says that the lab has been destroyed. Omega's like, haha, we win, blah, blah, blah. Your research is gone. But Hemlock is like, but you're still alive and you're all I need. And Omega's like, you're forgetting one thing. I have them. And then Wrecker wakes up or whatever. And, oh, actually, at this point, Omega is not handcuffed yet. This is coming up now. And so Wrecker, he wakes up and he like pushes like this panel against everyone, pushes everyone back, whatever, destroys other panels, turns the gas off. And this is when Hemlock handcuffs Omega to himself. He leaves with Scorch. And then it's Wrecker and Echo down below trying to fight the last of the X-Troopers. And then Hunter and Crosshair are fighting one X-Trooper on top. And then Hunter and Crosshair go to chase after Omega because Wrecker, he's in rough shape at this point. Because Wrecker kills that one with the swords, like by throwing him in his head first into a computer console thing. Like, that was like, I heard someone say that was like a Wookiee move. Just like smash him in the head by lifting him up and smashing him down. So, Rampart. I don't know if we ever saw this. We have to go like when we see the bird's eye view thing of Tantus. We got to see if this thing is up there. But he goes to this topside like area that's above everything, like a walkway thing. And it's at this point it's raining like crazy. And you like what they did here with what the visuals, because the rain,
Their hair,
but like the buildings looked like Camino a little bit.
Yeah.
They're like, like suspended above everything else. The rain, like there's kind of like the dome shapes on these things, and Omega sees it and like, this is like Camino, like this is nuts type of thing. So he's at this point he's like he took like the wrist or the arm pad thing from one of the X-Troopers that used to call the ships. So he's calling the ship to come in so he can escape. And it's about to land on the landing pad, and then you see two blaster bolts it's like a wide shot. You just see these two blaster bolts come in, hit the engines, ship goes down, and Hunter and Crosshair at the end are coming out. And I'm like, all right, this is it. It's coming. It's going down.
Well, I love that the ship didn't even hit the platform. It just slowly.
Yeah, that was cool. It kind of just glided away. And so immediately Hunter and Crosshair start shooting at Scorch. And so Scorch, he gets shot a million times. He falls off the edge. He's dead.
R.I.P. Scorch. He got scorched.
Yep. So, like, for me, I don't have any connection with him from those games that he was in, but like, he was always heavily focused on like through the series, like as being a good and faithful soldier to the end, but he was a bad guy. So it's like, I thought I'm like, well, how's it going to happen? Is he going to have a moment to turn like good? Is he going to try and save his brother? Is he going to like see the error in his ways? But nope. He got shot a bunch of times and fell off the edge into the abyss of the jungle. And so Now it's just Hemlock and Omega versus Crosshair and Hunter. And Hemlock put the gun to Omega's head. And Omega's like, "You're not going to shoot me. You need me." Like, he's like, "Well, if I'm going down, you're going down with me because I'm going to fall off the edge with you because we're tied together with the handcuff things." And where am I? I'm getting ahead of myself.
No, you're not.
Well, I kind of did a bunch of one things and then together.
And then Omega gets her
Yep. So
handy dandy screwdriver.
There's a standoff, and so they're like trying to figure out. Both sides are like, "What are we gonna do?" Because I think Hemlock like walked towards the Bad Batch, get closer. Because obviously it's like one of those things in movies. What's the movie? You wouldn't have seen it. Shazam, the first one. It's a DC movie with Shazam with. Do you know what I'm talking about? The guy from.
I know what you're talking about.
So it makes fun of like superhero movies a little bit because there's a scene where like Shazam guy, he's flying like at the end of battle or whatever against the bad guy, and they're both like in the air, like hovering, but they're like 500 feet apart, and like the bad guy starts like to yell at him, like to tell him something, but he's like, "I can't hear you, we're too far away," like to make fun of like how in movies it's like,
how can they hear him so perfectly all the
time? So like it was kind of like that where like he had to like get closer so he could like bargain with them or yell at him or whatever. So Hunter is like, "Crusher, you gotta make this shot. Like, you gotta break the handcuffs. You gotta do this." And Crusher's like, "I can't do this. This is too close to Omega. I can't. My arm's shaky. Like he actually doesn't have a hand. Actually, now that I think about it, like so he has to shoot with one hand. The most important shot of his life, and he's like, "I can't do this." And Omega like pulls out from her wrist her tool that she had, and she like does some sort of thing. Like she like taps something with her something. Like she does like a signal to like tell Hunter like, "I know what has to get done." And Hunter's like, "We gotta trust Omega. She knows what to do in this moment. Basically, we've trained her well. Like when the moment comes, you gotta take the shot, Crusher. You just gotta get it done." And so she takes out her tool, she stabs Hemlock, and she raises her hand as high as she can. And then Crusher makes the shot, hits the cuffs. She gets down, and they just unload a million shots into Hemlock's chest, and he falls off the edge as well.
He also got shot so many times.
It would have been so cool if the Zillo Beast was down below and like
caught him
and ate him. That would have been kind of cool, but that was a little bit much. But
yeah, that boy got his.
But Hemlock dead, and Omega starts running towards the two, and she kind of stops and looks at him, and she ran and hugged Crosshair first.
Yep.
That was I'm like, you think, oh, she's gonna go to Hunter because that's her dad basically, and nope, she hugs Crosshair, and then Hunter is the third wheel and hugs them too. And Hunter's like, "All right, well, we gotta go. Like, we gotta get out of here. Like, we can't. This is great, but we gotta go." They get to
transport.
They get to a shuttle transport thing in whatever hangar they go to. Was it in the one that they were that got destroyed, or was it the same one?
Yeah.
And they're leaving. Boom! They hit the hyperspace, and it lingers on space for. I'm like, why is it lingering? And then immediately the Empire arrives.
It's like the closest call of all time, dude.
Like it was literally like 3 seconds. If they were left like 10 seconds earlier or later, like they would have not been able to hit hyperspace. So
she would have hugged him for 10 more seconds.
Yeah, that went bad. But I heard someone make a comment in one of the YouTube channels I follow that this is the first Star Destroyer.
Yep.
Because there was two like cruisers. They're like Republic cruisers or Jedi cruisers, whatever you want to call them. They have different names because those are the kind of predecessors. But this Tarkin brought the first Star Destroyer, which is really cool to know that happened.
Yep, because it like transferring over the guard a little bit even more. So you got Tarkin's big old Star Destroyer and then the 2 carriers. So it's pretty cool to see that.
And Tarkin would be the first one with,
Of course.
with a Star Destroyer. And so he arrives. They go to Mount Tantus, obviously, and they do a bird's eye view of the mountain, and you see the ships come over it. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. He goes down inside the facility, and I don't know if you noticed, so the Imperial officer there, the woman, she's the girl from season 1, I believe. She is with Senator Singh, whatever the planet was, like the head of the Separatists.
Oh, yeah.
She was like the officer that was there trying to convince him to like join the Empire, basically. It's like I thought she got killed or something, or maybe she was just stunned or something, but she's alive and well.
Well, not well, but she's alive.
Well, I don't know. She's not. Just because you're in the Empire doesn't mean you're not healthy and happy. But it'd be cool to see kind of more about her because she really seemed like an interesting character. But she reports that like everything's been destroyed. Hemlock is dead so confirmed. Hemlock is dead. They found
they found the body.
The body, so he's dead. No coming back unless he cloned himself somehow, and like
but not on that planet.
No,
that doesn't make any sense.
But she's like, but the science lab has been completely destroyed. All the data is gone, and Tarkin's like, that's some good information to know. This place has been a waste of time. Anyway, divert all funds from this project to Project Stardust.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which, if you have been living under a rock in the Star Wars world, Project Stardust is the Death Star project.
Death Star.
So that is cool that Tarkin is already still working on. Because last season in the finale, we got the tease of Stardust because Krennic showed up to that secret meeting or whatever and was like, this is a good project. I need money, blah, 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 type of thing. And so then it transitions over to Pabu. Like, for some reason, I'm like, didn't think Pabu was going to be a thing anymore because the Empire knew about it. So, like, I was like, why is this a safe place when the Empire has been there and know that there's people hiding out there? Like, I don't know. Maybe just because Hemlock was the head of it, that he was the only one that knew about it, type of thing.
I think so, and he sent his guys, and they're all dead now. So it's like, who would be the one to know to go back there? You know,
I feel like there has to be like a report, like, yeah, I sent these troopers over this planet. Like, all of that should be.
But it's all secretive, so I don't think so.
I know, but I just feel like
maybe Palpatine knew.
Like, Hemlock should have to like report to like a database that like the top people are aware of or something. I don't know.
No, because Tarkin didn't even know what he was working on there.
Right, but I'm just saying, just like when troopers are moved from one planet to another.
But remember, it was his guy. It was that clone that went there.
Yeah, but he brought Jedi cruisers. They had brought a Jedi cruiser, and they all those.
Yeah, but he also brought his guys, though.
I know, but they're all part of the Empire.
Yeah,
all those TK troopers are part of the Empire.
But it was so secretive. Like I said, like maybe Palpatine knew, but
I'm just saying that should be like the Empire should have that documentation so that
if
they know.
They do, it's blown up.
I got a central command. Everything goes.
Yeah.
goes to a sector of the thing, or
I think it's because this was so secretive that's
Probably.
probably why.
but it's paradise on Pabu. So there were some clones that did survive. So we didn't really get like a
head count,
but some of them did survive. They're eating sushi, and that sushi,
perfect.
best
I could eat that.
CGI sushi I've ever seen.
Yeah, I could eat that.
It looked like a Pixar film or like a DreamWorks film, like food. This looked really nice and shiny. So they're dishing that out. Clones are in line getting food. Kids are running around. We see the clone teenagers playing with Eva and Jax and them. They're having a lot of fun, living the dream. And it goes to Echo and Emery. They're talking, and Emery's like, "Yeah, the kids have adapted very well." And okay, I'm going to say something, and immediately I know my error in it. Do you know what I'm going to say? Because you shook your head.
I feel like you're gonna say that they're a good couple or something.
In the moment, I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
they might have a thing."
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh, but then I'm like,
I was like, "No,
ew.
they're brother and sister." Never
I was
mind.
like, oh, ew. Like,
I'm glad
in the moment, too, like in the watch party, I was gonna say something. I was like, wait, no, that can't be a thing. Never mind. I'm not even gonna say this.
They're not just like brother and sister, but they're like twins,
They're
like they're clones of each other.
same
So
people.
I was like, scratch that, never mind. But Echo is like, I'm gonna go to Pantora and help like settle clones there, which is interesting because like Pantora is like a booming place in a sense. Like it's not some back world planet that the Empire doesn't care about. So it's like interesting that like clones are going to be moved there to like relocate to kind of hide out. But whatever. And so he's like, that's what I'm doing next. Like if you want to come, you can help because Senator Chuchi, who is from Pantora, could use your information. Like if you want to kind of like spill the beans type of thing. And Emery's like, well, I have a lot of debt to like
make up for.
Like I gotta right my wrongs type of thing. I'm like, okay, cool. Emery's on the good side now, like fully, so that's cool. And then Omega and Hunter are talking at the tree, and they're just hanging out, talking. Everyone's safe, and everyone can now choose their own path. Like whatever they want to do, they're not soldiers anymore. They can choose whatever they want. If they want to fight more power to them. If they want to just stay here, if they want to go somewhere else, they can do it. It's their choice to do whatever they want. And
he mentioned that Rex and Hunter are working on getting those kids back to their family.
he didn't seem that confident though. Like
no,
because Omega did ask like, what about, are we going to return them to their families? And like, well, Rex and I are working on that, but for now they're staying here. So it's like, one, the Pantoran girl, like that should be an easy one.
Pantora.
Yeah, like you're already going there, just drop her off. Like
the baby, that one's gonna be a little hard.
That'll be hard, yeah.
But unless they just go and find the bounty hunters that did it,
that'll be hard, dude. Like tracking down Cad Bane.
Yeah, just track down Cad Bane, torture him.
But it's probably not going to happen. But the thing is, like, I wonder if now that this program has been completely get rid of, like, this whole M count bounty thing is no longer out there. So, like they can't like track these bounty hunters down to do those jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
you also just find the number one bounty hunters and just talk to them. Paid them to tell them where they got the kids.
Yep. And during this conversation, Echo, he gets on his ship, kind of says, "Hey, I'm leaving," and he leaves and flies away. I'm like, all right, cool. We're done with Echo. And then Crosshair and Wrecker go, and I should say Batcher was already here. He's just hanging
Batcher
out.
was sleeping.
He was there, and so then Wrecker and Crosshair, they join them under the tree and just sit there. And this is a wide shot of them.
And
it
Mr. Guy has no arm and hand now.
Yep. Which, what happened to the hand that Echo had? Like, give that hand to Crosshair. Hey, I don't need this anymore. And then it just fades to black and it just pauses. I'm like, is there something else?
Mm-hmm.
Are we getting anything else? Are we getting any more? And then it's night at Pabu. Nice bird's eye view. Perfect. Like, they did the bird's eye view of Tantus, all that stuff. And now they're doing the bird's eye view of Pabu in the same way. It's at night. And then it goes to a shot down in the rocky shore, looking up. And you see a woman with long blonde hair and a ponytail. And did you figure it out right away?
I knew right away.
Okay, me too. I was like, at first I was like, who's this chick? And then like I saw the hair. I'm like, this is a time jump. This is an adult Omega. And she walks into the cave where all these ships went and landed for super easy, whatever. So classic spot. She goes in there. She goes to like a power generator thing, turns it on. A bunch of lights turn on. There's a ship there, and then off to the side you see someone else sitting there with Batcher, and he says something, or Hunter yells something out, and she gets surprised, like, oh, and looks, and she gets a smile. And it's Hunter, and she walks over, and he's like, my old age hasn't gotten rid of all my senses or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like, I could tell you're coming this way. And it is old gray,
man.
Turning gray beard and hair Hunter and adult Omega.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I've made my choice. I'm leaving. Because she makes an interesting claim. She says, the rebellion needs pilots. So this is my theory on the exact timeline and when that is. So it's not considered the rebellion until Mon Mothma makes the alliance in season 3 of Rebels. And so that's going to be like 2 years before episode 4/Rogue One.
Yep.
So it has to be in that
gap,
2 years between. So let's just say it's right on that 2 years before.
Mm-hmm.
So I do my Star Wars math with the timeline.
Oh, here we go.
So if season 3 of Bad Batch brings us 3 years post Empire starting, Order 66, all that stuff. And then we have 2 years until Rogue One and episode 4 when Omega leaves. That's 19 years minus 3 minus 2, which is 14. So that means if Omega was 13 at the beginning of Bad Batch and it was 3 years, she's 16.
She's 25.
16 plus 14 is 30 years old.
Oh, she's 30. Oh.
Which would be, that Boba Fett is the same age, 30.
Mm-hmm. So
she's probably around, 29, 30 years old. Because we don't get exact age with Omega. It's like 13 at the beginning or at the end of Clone Wars ish or something. So if it's been 3 years and during the Bad Batch, she's probably 16 or so, 15 or 16.
It's either she's 30 or older.
Probably no older than 30.
Yeah.
But if it's like towards the closer to Rogue One, then it would, I guess, be over 30. But like, dang, she's old now.
Mm-hmm.
She has long hair. She has cool, like, I can't wait to see people do cosplay of that.
Flight jacket.
Yep, she has like the Bad Batch skull patch on her thing. And so I went back and I looked at the Battle of Scarif to see if that ship was in the Battle of Scarif. I didn't see anything that looked like the ship. There's one that kind of looked like it, but in here she has as like a vertical fin on the top of the ship,
Mm-hmm.
and the one that I saw didn't have a vertical fin, so I don't think it was. But it's cool to think that Omega is fighting with the rebellion as a pilot.
Yep.
And so she's like, so this is a whole conversation with Hunter. Like, they need pilots. I made my decision. Hunter's like, we just want to keep you safe. Like, bro, you've been safe for like 14 years. Like, and
Let her
she's like,
go.
she's like, I'm not a kid anymore. And he's like, you'll always be our kid. I'm like, she's older than you. She should have made that joke. That would have been
We're the same age.
like, she's like, because she said that earlier at the beginning of the season, like, get to crash her, like, I'm older than you. Like, it would been cool if she said that again to Hunter. And he's like, do what you gotta do, blah, blah, blah. And she
gives her he gives her blessing essentially.
Yeah, so as she's going into her ship, he calls out to her one last time and is like, hey, if you ever need us, we'll be there for you. Like,
as he barely walks, like sits up off the rock. He's so old.
No, he just needs to do some sit-ups and some push-ups, and he'll be good to go in like a couple weeks.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, so she gets in her ship. Oh, and we should say she has Gonk.
Yeah,
Gonk for the win. He's still alive and well. He's joining the rebellion. Like, that's really cool. So she gets in her ship. On her dashboard, she has text goggles.
Yeah.
R.I.P. And she gets in. She flies away into the setting or the moonlight.
That's it. That's Bad Batch.
Super, super sad and happy and emotional and amazing writing. Like,
she did become a Jedi.
No, like I said earlier, I wanted some of the Bad Batch members to die because I think it would have been more better. But like, it was the way it played out.
It was good. The way they ended the story was really well done, and it was really good. And I'm excited to go back and like rewatch all of it as one now. At some point,
are you gonna skip the racing episode, or are you gonna still watch it just?
Sorry,
for
Addy, we're skipping that episode. That episode's getting skipped.
But yeah, so
that's when I'm gonna take like my bathroom break. I'll just have it.
Okay. That's a long 20-minute bathroom
hey,
break.
Don't judge.
But yeah, that is the Bad Batch.
That's the Bad Batch. All of it.
Yep. And
bittersweet.
Season 3 was very, very good. Have no complaints. The finale was amazing.
I think it was the best season, honestly. Like, every episode was really, really good.
Yeah, like, and the question then is, what is Omega's future? Like,
I don't know if we're gonna get any of it. I think we got it.
I don't think we're gonna get any more shows with her. Like, I could maybe see like maybe in the Mandoverse, maybe with like Boba Fett, like he somehow finds his sister, she finds him or something. But like, I honestly think there's gonna be like an Omega book.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Like, that'd be something I feel like they would do, of her during the rebellion, joining that. Maybe that's how she runs into Boba Fett. Like,
yeah, that'd be a cool book. We'll read it, but yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I would
think
get.
There's gonna be a show about her anymore.
No,
I think that's kind of how it ends. Like, she's still a good guy at the end of the day. She's helping out.
Yeah, if there is a book, do you think she'll go back to Pabu and say hey to Hunter and Crusher and Wrecker?
Probably. She'll probably. I don't know. It's hard to tell what the book would be about. Like, is it just her fighting, or is it her struggling? Like, I don't know. It's not like she's becoming a bounty hunter or anything. So it's just fight scenes.
I think it would be similar to just like any story where like she's the odd man out. Like, she has all this experience and training, and she has to go into like a new way of
learning and
learning
discipline.
of like how
Doing it the soldier way.
or is this like a rebellion? It's just a bunch of random people trying to figure it out together.
Yeah.
And like a conflict of like different ideas of like her trying to like fit into like that way of
maybe like in the next season of Andor, maybe we
ooh,
could see her in the background or something.
live action.
Yeah, just like a blonde girl walking by or flying by, and
That would be
her
cool.
roll call is whatever. Like maybe she's fighting in the ship, and her roll call is that whatever.
Havoc 5.
Yeah, Havoc 5. That'd be dope.
It'd be cool to see her walking in the bathroom with that jacket though, like in the background. Is it like a yellow jacket kind of?
Yeah, it was like
right?
yellowish.
So that'd be cool to see her walking at like on Yavin, like in the Rebel base, and then like she's there with Gonk, walking, like
yeah,
that'd be cool. So
who knows?
Who knows?
Don't put it past Dave to not give us a little bit of her in the background of some live action show. But
oh yeah,
at the same time, it's kind of one of those things where it's like we got her story, we know where she's gonna go, and we know that she's still a good guy, and like that's kind of all we like. It's I'm okay with this ending of her story too.
Right.
So yeah, Bad Batch.
That's the Bad Batch. Now I'm kind of like, now what do we do? Like
we go into voicemail time. That's what we go.
No, I'm just saying like moving forward with like animated shows like
Rex. I think we're gonna get a Rex show.
A Rex show, that would be Rex and Echo.
Yeah,
a bunch of clone stuff,
or like an Echo show.
Like, do you think that it would pick up like right after this? Like, so it's like chronological.
I would like that.
Or do you think we would see
their point of view,
like the overlap of like stuff happening during Bad Batch? Because it's like Rex comes in for one episode and then is gone. Like, are we gonna see, what they're doing?
That'd be cool.
This, like, the Bad Batch called me. I gotta go. Whatever. Like, it'd be kind of cool to see.
I think it could be right after though. Like, to get maybe not even Rex. Maybe it's gonna be what's her name and not Crosshair. Echo and Emery, like their show.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think we're gonna get something though with that timeline, because that's a timeline that we still haven't fully like. We could still get more of, and them fighting and getting more clones and saving them, and
so
pushing the narrative that way towards the Rebel show.
I'm gonna bring it up, but like, this is what D. Bradley Baker posted on Instagram last night. Because obviously, if you've been living in Iraq, he's the voice of all the clones. So he does all the voices. But he says this: late tonight, the Bad Batch series finale drops on Disney Plus. Mission completed, but not soon forgotten. My deepest appreciation and gratitude to all who gave their brilliant best on this. There may be Star Wars tears, but also an enduring sweetness and hope in such a farewell. I've never been so proud of a project. I will so miss the Batch. And so, like, obviously he's just saying that about the Bad Batch voices that he does. But like,
they kind of make it seem like he was done with.
It seems like he's not working on a Rex show, because like, if they are doing a Rex show, it's already being made, and it would be coming out next year, probably season 1 or something.
Or he's trying to throw us off.
So I don't know. It just sounded like he's doesn't have anything in the books yet, but I don't know. Could be wrong, but who knows? Any other thoughts, Drew?
No. Like I said, like if we get a Rex show, it wouldn't surprise me. I don't know what else they would do. I think it would be really cool to get a Boba Fett bounty hunter show during this time would be really cool.
Yeah. I just wonder though if like the Tales series is going to be their focus moving forward, where every year we get Tales episodes centered around. Like I wouldn't mind that. Like if every like so this is like once like we had the first one like a year and a half ago or something like that. It would be cool if like every 6 months we got, you know, some 6 episodes or something like that. But
Yeah.
that way there's a variety of it and you're not kind of like stuck on a single show. Because like if they're doing 16 episodes, 15, 16 episodes a year for the Bad Batch, like they could do a similar thing with Tales where they split it up throughout the year. But I don't know.
Yeah. I think you're kind of right with the Tales stuff. Like they can just plan them out and keep going. And there is that like makeshift list of all the Tales.
People just made the logos of like 50 different things, and there's some Tales of Pod Racing. I mean,
you can do so much with that. Like, so.
Yeah. All right. I think we talked about the Bad Batch enough. So let's.
Sad last time talking about them.
Yep.
Potentially.
But let's transition over to everyone's favorite time of every episode, voicemail time.
It's voicemail time.
All right. Cool. Well, we have 3 voicemails tonight. First up, from a first-time sender who we have been seeing in the Spotify Q&A for the last few months, Easton. So let's listen to his first ever voicemail.
Hey Empire Radio, I'm Easton, and I guess to start off my question, I'll share with you one of my hobbies, but I make Star Wars helmets out of like cardboard, and then I harden it with resin and spackle and paint over it. But my question is, what is the most bizarre Star Wars related hobby you have ever seen someone have? Thank you, and may the Force be with you.
Awesome. Thank you, Easton, for your first ever voicemail. Hope to hear from you again in the future via voicemail, and I'm sure we'll see you in the Q&A section as well. But that's cool that you do make helmets.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But his question is the most bizarre Star Wars hobby. So it's like, I don't know. There's this like...
I don't know.
I don't know if there's anything really bizarre, like, because everything is just so common nowadays. Now, 20 years ago, people doing cosplay would be all right, kind of weird. But now, like, there's so many. Like, cosplay is such a huge thing. Like, you know, we have Grace on the podcast sometimes. Like, she does cosplay. Like, Retta in the Discord.
I'm
like,
trying to think.
She does cosplay. Like, she has like she's part of like the official Mandalorian cosplay thing. So it's like it's not weird for that anymore because that's just what people do. Maybe people who get Star Wars tattoos. I don't know. Like,
it's not really that bizarre. It's
but that's not a hobby.
Hobby though.
But like some people get like a lot, like a sleeve of like a Star Wars poster type looking thing, or
yeah, I'm planning on getting a Star Wars themed sleeve.
Oh gosh,
I'm working on it right now.
Don't. Bro, that's like how much is a sleeve these days?
I don't know. Depends on who you go to. But mine's gonna be different. It's not gonna be like that, like a live action image or anything. Like
you should get Echo's like screwdriver like on your forearm or whatever. That'd be kind of funny. But yeah, I don't really think there are hobbies that are weird for like nerdy stuff.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like maybe. No, I don't know. I was gonna say like. I think it's like when people like there's that like flying game that you like buy the ships and all the ships are super expensive. It's like a platform game, but you have to buy all the ships separately, and then you battle them and stuff.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, and I forget the name of the game, and like every piece is like super dope and really cool looking, and they're like miniatures. But like you have to buy them all separately, and like every match is different depending on the ship. It's like really complicated, and like it's kind of weird because some of them like will like paint them themselves and stuff like that, but like not really weird. It's just like a hobby. Like
Yeah,
it's an expensive hobby. I don't know.
I think that's the cool thing about like the nerdy community is that none of it's weird, or
A lot of it's art.
a lot of it's art, and it's just like I said, like 20 years ago, like it would have been embarrassing to be like into superheroes and comics and Star Wars. Like
My
it was
room would have been like, come on, dude. You know,
like
but
like if you wore like a Captain America like shield shirt 20 years ago, like nerd, and now you just see like random people just walking around, nobody cares. Like,
yeah.
so I think that's just a cool thing where we are in our culture where
Hmm.
nerdy stuff is more socially acceptable. Now, obviously, there's haters out there that think all nerdy stuff is stupid, and
Yeah,
all
but
hobbies
they
of
also have a lot of social issues because they're just weird themselves. So.
maybe, but I do think it's cool that you're making helmets, and that's not weird at all. So make a
No.
cool, join the Discord and post some of your pictures because we
Yeah.
have like an arts and crafts channel that you can post that stuff in, but also like cosplay stuff too. So if like you like make a full armor or something out of cardboard and
Hmm.
stuff, that'd be cool too. So thanks, Easton. Hope to hear from you again.
For sure.
Next up, we have a voicemail from Uncle Owen. So let's take a listen.
Uncle Owen.
Hey, Empire Radio, Owen here with another voicemail. My question for you guys today is, what finale of any show was the most impactful for you? Thanks, may the force be with you. Bye.
Awesome. Thank you, Owen. And he said any show, so you didn't specify Star Wars. So we can talk about other shows that we really liked. And this was really hard for me because like I don't watch a lot of shows in my life. So it's like very few of them like ever like ended on a high note that I even remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
So like, and I will finale will say if like a series finale,
Yes.
not just a season finale. But like I'm trying to think like what show like I've like Lost. I'm an OG Lost fan. I watched the first episode the first night it came out, and I was one of the first fans before everyone jumped on the bandwagon. But that finale is very divisive between the people who watched that show.
I never made it to the finale.
You never liked that show?
No, I love that show.
How far did you get? There's 6 seasons. How far did you get?
I got to season 5, I think.
Season 5.
And
They tried so hard, but that season 5, like you take that out, literally nothing changes.
Yeah, and
it's like cool, but then it's like when you go back and look at it, like how it fits in. Like
no, like there's a while there that I had all of them on DVD.
I have them all on disc.
I had them all, and I never finished it. And then, yeah.
So Lost, but like most shows just don't like stay good. Like Breaking Bad was really good till the end. That's
an MA show.
You should. It's like 4 or 5 episodes a season or whatever, like 7 episodes a season. Like you get that done.
I got through like episode 3 and I just never went back.
Really, season 1?
I know everyone says it's like the best thing ever.
It's the highest rated TV show on IMDb.
I know.
Like it's really, really good. It gets better and better. So like Breaking Bad
it's not for everyone. It's not family friendly.
It's not family friendly. So if you're not an adult, don't watch that show. But
the finale,
but like Clone Wars season 7 finale episode,
that's a good one.
Super amazing. So that's super impactful. Like because it was impactful for us, which is a specific question. Rebels was really good. Bad Batch is really good. Like this is
a really good finale.
Really good. This is very impactful. So that's a good question for today's episode. So Bad Batch is in there.
Yeah. Sons of Anarchy, the finale is really good. Really sad. I don't know, another show that make sure you're allowed to watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know, because like any like show that I always watch over and over again, like New Girls finale was pretty good, wasn't bad.
Not Breaking Bad. I just said it. Big Bang Theory, that finale. You ever watch?
Yeah, that
Big
one
Bang?
was good. That was a good
Dude, I almost
finale.
I got a little
Uh-huh.
teary like when he says astronaut Howard
Oh, yeah.
Wallets. Bro, that hit me so hard. I can't he finally said that. Like
Yeah. No, that show like ended well, but a lot of those kind of shows like go on way too long, and
that
then
was like
it's just not
10 seasons or something like that.
like How I Met Your Mother. Like it went too long. Good show, but man, did it go too long.
All right, cool. Well, thank you,
Yeah.
Owen, for that question. I'm sure we're missing some shows, but a lot of shows are just not that great at the end. So,
Oh, like I said, a lot of shows just
oh, we're forgetting Avatar: The Last Airbender.
that's a good
That
finale.
that finale, that last episode was really good. So
I feel like if a show plans to end at a certain time, it's really
right.
like good. Like I never finished Game of Thrones, and apparently that finale was horrible.
Yeah, people didn't like that. I hear.
Yeah, so it's like even shows that like are supposed like sometimes like they just take it too long because they just want to milk as much money out of it as possible, and then the finale just tanks
And it's like they get canceled for like one last season,
mid-season. Yeah,
and so then they have
so
to
they have
like
to
just end
rush
it.
it anyways, and then yeah.
Yep. All right, cool. Thank you for that, Owen. And last up, we have a voicemail from Grass Monkey.
Hey Empire Radio, it's Grass Monkey from the Discord. Before I ask my question, I just wanted to say that as of today, I'm caught up on every episode of Empire Radio. I just wanted to say thank you to you all. Y'all have been amazing and have taken my enjoyment of Star Wars to new heights, giving me a lot more to think about when watching the shows or reading the books.
That's what's up.
Anyways, my question, if you had to rank the 3 seasons of The Bad Batch, how would you rank them? Thanks guys, and may the Force be with you.
That's a good question.
Awesome. Thank you, Grass Monkey. And this is episode 255, so that's a lot of episodes.
Mm-hmm.
But did you also listen to our Mandalorian podcast and Clone Wars Save podcast? Because if you haven't listened to those episodes, you're still behind. But
I feel like he's in the chat, or he was earlier.
he was. But keep on listening. Thank you for your support.
Yes.
It's good to have you, hearing from you. Yes, so his question was rank these 3 seasons of Bad Batch. Clearly, season 3, number 1.
Number 1, season 3. Number 2, season 1. Number 3, season 2.
I would agree with that list.
Yeah.
I think the thing about season 2 is when it was good, it was really good.
But when
it
it
wasn't,
bad,
it was just okay.
Yeah.
But like season 1 was more like
season 2, or season 3, like it was nonstop.
There was a lot of great episodes, and it was a lot of character building, and you're kind of jumping into this world. So it was like there was more like wonder to it. Like
we're like,
excited.
What's going on? Who's this? Crosshair's betraying them. That whole thing,
dude. The finals, the first episode was amazing, and then the last episode where the Camino was destroyed, or actually second to last episode at the end, it gets destroyed, and then we got to wait a whole week or whatever it was.
Yeah, that season 1 was really, really good.
Yeah.
Season 2 is good, but there's parts of it that's like, why?
Nope. Yeah.
Are we
racing episode? But season 3 was a clear winner for the best of the 3, and that just makes me happy that it ended so
well
on a high note. So, yeah. All right, cool. Well, that is everything that we have planned for tonight. So, if you are listening to us and you are not really fully connected to us, we don't know why, but you should be. So, if you want to get more connected, click in the link below in the description, links.co/Empire Radio, links spelled with 2 I's, landing page for everything Empire Radio. And so if you click on that, you will find a link for Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. If you are new to us, we live stream every episode of our recordings and on Twitch. So go watch that, and you can join the chat and talk to us, and we'll respond to your comments if need be. But it's a lot of fun to do that. Join the Discord; it's a lot of fun. Fan email, if you ever want to send us an email about anything, go right ahead. Send a voicemail. Also, a link for the voicemails. You could, as long as it's family friendly, we'll play it on air and we'll take your questions or comments or whatever. Love to hear from you. And the needlesslynerdy.com, which is a entertainment network that we're a part of. Go check that out. They're great. A lot of nerdy content over there. I think that's everything.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Well, we will sign out tonight. So you have been listening to our last ever Bad Batch-tastic episode of Empire Radio.
So sad.
I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.